So I've got some figures for child sexual exploitation in Sheffield, which I don't believe, but this has been an ongoing saga with Sheffield City Council. I've also got it for places like Bradford and Oldham as well, so this gets very interesting, folks. So I'll give you a bit of the background. Last September, I asked Sheffield City Council to provide the equivalent of what's happened in Rotherham with 1,400 abused girls. They refused on cost grounds, £450. I don't think that should even come into it, cost grounds, for something so serious as this. So I raised this issue with the leader of Sheffield City Council, who put it right through for consideration. So like 6 months later, still had no response, so I went to the Ombudsman. And what the Ombudsman came back with, the Commissioner's decision is that the Council breached Section 17.1, refusal of request. So let's go to the response from Sheffield City Council after the Ombudsman got involved. Shows that it's worth doing it. So they're trying to play it down that Sheffield was not like Rotherham, saying only 5 guilty in this one case here, saying that they've got some sort of panel going around looking at it all. But I think Sheffield needs a full Louise Casey investigation, and when you see the figures for Oldham, they sort of are about the same as Sheffield, and there's a guy crying out that it's been covered up in Oldham, so my feeling is it's been covered up in Sheffield. So if I put this information in the description, I really recommend you going through this in detail, but I'll quickly take you through the table, which you can click on here and show you how to do it, and then you can go through for where you are. So I need to go down to C3, factors identified at the end of assessment by the local authority. I'm going to create my own table. I'm going by local authority. So I'm going to go through to Yorkshire first. Well, in fact, I'll pick up Oldham, and then you can do the comparison there. But I'm doing Barnsley, Bradford, Doncaster. Let's click the right one, Doncaster there. Rotherham, Sheffield and Wakefield, but you can go everywhere and do this. So let's go down next step. It only goes back to 2018. So there could be absolutely data buried. Well, I don't believe the data now, never mind in the past. So let's go down here. Child sexual exploitation, trafficking, sexual abuse, adult on child. Yeah, so, but this doesn't tell us who's committing the offences either, so it needs a full investigation. I think it needs a Louise Casey child sexual exploitation investigation in every major town and city. So when I create the table, so Oldham, there's a guy screaming out in Oldham, actually a Muslim guy, I think he's called Raja, that the figures are not really showing what's going off on the ground. So if you look at Oldham, certainly not showing much, is it, compared with, say, Bradford. Bradford looks absolutely horrendous. Looking at Rotherham, when you look at Rotherham compared with Bradford, it don't look bad at all. But Oldham's looking no worse than Rotherham. But the guy on the ground says it's horrendous. And then, like, Sheffield's only looking like as bad as Oldham. I just don't believe the Sheffield figures. And then Wakefield there. So you've got a guide now to get through the information yourself. It certainly doesn't tell you who's committing the child sexual exploitation. But I believe these figures are only accurate if they've actually been submitted. And the guy at Oldham saying horrendous in a particular school where they've merged a school together. And my belief is it's going to be horrendous in Sheffield if somebody actually goes really down into the detail. So get through the information and have a look yourself.